Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is April Patterson, and I am your host and creator of Respectfully April. On this episode, I have the honor of speaking with Gwendolyn Jackson, which I am super excited to be talking to her today. Gwen is the CEO of LMG Productions. As she shares her story on this episode about her journey as an entrepreneur. Gwen has been an entrepreneur who has moved at her own pace and with integrity in everything that she does, and I can attest to that. Which includes managing film and television projects or building brands with the audience in mind. In 1999, she started her own marketing and production company, Jack's Entertainment Group. She worked on projects for mostly corporate clients, including AT&T, Southern Company, Red Roof Inns, and Sony Music. Gwen recognized a void in her hometown. So she turned her focus to video production and soon became the second most sought after music video production company, having worked with artists such as TLC, Indigo Girls, and Xscape. Whoop whoop, Xscape, one of my favorite groups, especially TLC. After taking 6 years, a 6 year break to become a mother, Gwen created LMG Productions, named after her children, and has completed projects for various clients, including Silver Lining Entertainment, Atlanta Sightseeing Tours, Ball Ethnic, and Mojaj Dance Studio. Gwen, thank you so much for giving me the yes today. Super excited.
Yay!
No, this is
Thank
really,
you for
really
this.
cool. Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. So you know that I am a huge fan of yours. And so just
Thank you.
having the opportunity to work with you on various projects, I is when I came to like really know who you are as an not only just an entrepreneur, but just as a kind soul that I know you to be. So I want you to go ahead. We're going to just dive right on in and let's tell the folks. Yes, I gave a brief overview of who you are, but exactly who is Gwen Jackson? Why don't you walk us through like how you like your younger years and leading up to the present?
Right. And thank you so much, April. I from the moment we met, we clicked and had great conversations and
Yeah.
just had a great time working together. I appreciate you. You've helped me look good.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You help a lot of people look good, including myself. So thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so I graduated from college with the bright idea I was going to conquer the world, make everybody professional and wonderful and successful. And I went into the retail business and didn't really like that because there was a lot of standing and that kind of thing, and it
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah.
put me into communication and marketing, which is what my degree was in. And so I started just, I said, I got to do something different. I have to be able to immerse myself into what I want to be able to do.
Mm.
And I did the corporate route, worked for a Fortune 500 for several years, doing doing the doing all of the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me one second. Doing
You're
all of
totally fine. And that's what I love about this is what I love about. This is what
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I absolutely love when you have real moments because I didn't want my show to be just like, we're sitting there all still and
Yeah.
we're having this really, really, really kind of boring conversation. But yeah, get up and walk around if that's what you got.
Yes, I have to.
Totally fine with me. Totally fine.
Well, we have a gentleman that's doing electrical work in the house, and so
Okay.
I thought, oh, he'll be finished in plenty of time. He's not finished.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I just thank you for even like not even canceling, like because you're so busy and you have now this thing going on in your house. So the fact that you're doing the show in real time and this is all taking place, I'm so cool with it. Like I'm so not
Yeah,
the person that's this
but
is
yeah, so I just wanted to be around what I wanted to be able to do, and I did the corporate thing, got headhunted after doing that, marketing department, helping them with sales and
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and having a great time with that. Then I
Mhm.
was headhunted and went to an advertising agency, which was fun because it was like, oh wow, somebody noticed what I'm doing, and they brought me on to do their creative marketing and traffic. And
Okay.
traffic is basically the person who manages how the workflow is and that sort of thing.
Mm.
So I
Okay.
did that and started working with different producers because we had clients like Home Depot, the May Company, Dillard's. So we had companies like that. So at the time when I was there, Home Depot started their outdoor living. So we did it. We
Mm.
started doing their commercials and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um, but it started being very overwhelming because, the more the more you want to do,
Yeah.
when you're a control freak like me, you want to be, you don't think anything can get done
Yeah.
unless you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you spend all that time trying to be at work, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go home and take care of my boo-boos and my baby.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So so balancing entrepreneurship and the family life, did you, this is not one of the questions, but as you mentioned, going home to be with one, with your babies, did you find that as an entrepreneur, being a mom, like what was that? When your kids were younger, what was that like for you?
Well, the hardest part for me was just finding out things after the fact. Oh my God, they did this today or they did that today. And
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I'm the youngest of five, and my mother, worked a lot because she was a single mom,
Mm.
and so we didn't get to see her a lot. But when we did, she was tired. And we couldn't hold that against her because we knew, what her responsibilities were, and
Mm-hmm.
especially by the time she got to me, she
Yeah.
was really like over it, like.
Yeah.
Girl, go on in there and take care of
Go
yourself.
in there now and do what you know you need to
Right.
do.
So
Oh my God.
take care of
Wow.
yourself. So I don't
Hmm.
hold that against her or anything in any negative way. I just wanted something different from my kids. I didn't
Okay.
want them to get um me by proxy, through other things or other people. I wanted them to have me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spoke to my husband who was really fantastic about it. And he was just like, if we're not going to get put outside and
Yeah.
we're going to be okay, then you can make the budget work, then,
Work it out.
make it
That's so
happen.
cool.
Because he liked me being there as well. I used to tell people all the time when they say, well, how many kids do you have? And I would be like 3. And
Yeah.
I'd say, and they're like, oh, what's their ages? And I would, say something like 10, 12, and 42. And they're like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Because
Wow.
I used to say that he'd be like, stop telling people that. But
Yeah.
you know how
Well,
they
I mean,
are.
because sometimes,
You know how they
I
are.
do know. Woo! Listen, I totally understand the responsibility of being in a relationship is sometimes like having another child around. It is for
Mhm. Because they
sure.
want what they want as well, and
Yeah,
so it just, it was just good to be home. And when he comes home, there's a meal cooked and the kids are,
yeah,
having a good time, and I can go to their school, and I can,
yeah.
be at the parent teacher conferences and meetings and stuff. And my son played sports, my daughter was academic,
Mhm,
so it was, cool to be at home and help her with a science project or whatever.
mhm,
i just
mhm.
i i just got all of that in, and I loved it. I
That's so
absolutely loved
cool.
it. So
Wow, wow,
um
that's really good, Gwen. So, I feel like either you're an entrepreneur or you're not. So, do you? And I wanted to say this is not on the questions are good, but like as I talk to you, like other questions are coming to mind. Okay, so when you were younger,
mhm.
out of all your siblings, like number one, you're a creative mind, right? So obviously you're fashion forward, and you have this entrepreneur spirit. Like, did you have that growing up, or did it come later in life?
I think when you're younger, whoever you're going to be manifests itself in different ways, and
Mhm.
it ebbs and flows as your life changes. Because
Mhm.
we all know the person we were when we were 20, we still have some of those traits when we're 40. They just come out in a different way. you
Okay.
know
Okay.
because yes, I spent a lot of time by myself, playing by myself, reading lots of books. I was a speed reader. I
Oh,
was, in the gifted program. I read, 4 or 5 books in a day,
yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. So that still helped me be creative because I
Mhm.
had to figure out ways to entertain myself because it
Mhm.
was just me a lot of times.
Right.
So that same creativity translates itself into being, in a business where,
Mhm.
now you have to learn how to make things happen out of nothing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that from, that I'm able to bring to the table. And then also just being able to, handle different situations without going crazy because, I'm used to not having a lot of stuff in front of me. It's just work with what you have. And
Right.
that's so in as a child, it's one thing, but it's the same sort of traits. They just, manifest themselves in different ways once as you get older, in
Mhm.
your life. Because I look at life like a funnel, the stuff at top and it just flows down. And,
Yeah.
as it gets narrower, your thoughts, your ideas, because, you hear your grandparents all the time, like, honey, I'm too old for that.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's
Yes.
because
Yes.
that
Yeah.
bottom of their funnel is smaller, whereas at the
It's
top, they
smaller.
might have been okay. But that
Exactly.
funnel at the
Exactly.
bottom, they're like, yeah, I'm not playing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally. I know. For me, I'm not even a grandmother yet, but I just, and I'm hoping that my kids at some point make me a grandma because I want to be a younger grandmother and I want to be able to enjoy. I don't want my funnel to already be,
Yep,
super narrow. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? I want to be able to just really, really enjoy a lot of them big, big, big moments when I'm younger. So yeah,
yep,
no, I know. Back in the day, my grandmother, she was super amazing, but she was also, both of them were also older, so they couldn't really,
yeah.
participate as much. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
'Cause, all the time people like, "Oh my god, you did that." And I love every experience, and I tell my kids that, and I have professionals who say, "How do you know so many people?" And it's just I walk into every situation wanting to take something away. And
Right.
that's either meeting somebody and so that I see them the next time, or it's learning a new skill. I remember being on the job years ago and I learned how to use the fax machine. And
Yeah.
people might be like, fax machine, what?
Yeah.
And think about it. How did you learn to use the fax machine? How did you learn how to put the paper in there the right way so it went to the person? Or
Right.
you didn't fax it to
Wow.
you be able to fax it to 100 folks.
Yeah.
So it's like it's those kind of things you might think, oh, that's so simple and easy, but not a lot of us get an opportunity to learn that. And
That's
so
very true.
every situation I went in, I tried to walk away with some new bit of knowledge.
That is really, really cool. So your world is the entertainment industry. Like it
Yeah.
just is.
Yeah.
And so like I know like I have moments of where I'm in that as well. But that is like your world. So how actually did that start for you?
It's interesting
Do you
because like I
like
said,
what was the
when I
moment
worked
that yeah, like what was the
yeah,
moment? Mm-hmm.
when I worked at the advertising agency, I got a client there, and
Uh-huh.
it was Dudley's Hair Company, and I
Oh,
don't know if you're
yes, I
familiar with
remember
Dudley's,
Dudley's. Yes, I
but
am.
Dudley's is one of the oldest Black-owned hair product companies in the world,
It
not
sure
just
is.
not just here, but in the
Yeah,
world.
in the
Based
world.
out of
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Hmm.
And I had an opportunity to help them find models
Okay.
for their hair books. Because,
Okay.
20 years ago, everybody used to have the hair book. They would make hair books.
Yeah.
And so I had an opportunity to work with them. And after working with them, they told somebody else, oh, she's really great. She's from Atlanta. You should work with her. She knows. And it literally went like
Word
that.
of mouth.
It was definitely just word of mouth. I was humbled that people enjoyed working with me, and they would tell this person and that person and that person. And for probably 10 or 15 years, I just worked on word of mouth and referrals.
Huh.
Because, because I am an Atlanta native, that was one of the things that I always touted. Like, I people would be like, "Oh man, I wish I could get a cute." I remember a client, they were with Red Roof Inns and they wanted a Cuban sandwich. And I
Okay.
was like, I got the perfect place. We're going right over here. I'm gonna get you a Cuban sandwich and a ginger beer. And
Okay.
they were in love after that. They
Oh,
were like,
yeah. Yeah.
how did you find that? And that was me just knowing the city, getting to know the city, trying new things,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
just got client after client after client, even Sony Records was
Yeah.
a referral from another person. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And I worked with Sony, LaFace,
Yeah.
So Def, all of
Yes.
those companies just on referrals.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so, see, that's something to be said for. Like, you have to be a super networker. Like, you've got to put yourself out there,
Yeah.
so that because I mean, they're not going to come knock on your door. And if you're trying to make it in a certain industry, you really have to put yourself out, in um, out of your comfort zone. Like, to me, your personality, you are an introvert, extrovert. Like, you're an introvert first and then an extrovert. Correct me
Right.
if I'm wrong, but I know you, and I think most creatives are introverts, right? You guys know how to turn it on when it needs to be on,
Right.
but you really love, like you said, you as a child, you spent a lot of time by yourself.
Hmm.
You read a lot. So you really do enjoy being in your own personal space, just spending time with yourself.
Right.
But what you understood coming up in the industry is that you had to apply yourself. You have to, become someone that's comfortable being in an uncomfortable situation, because if you're an introvert and then you're in the entertainment industry, like, you have to, like, really insert yourself.
Right. And for
Mhm.
me, it was just finding a common ground, a common space
Yeah.
where I could replicate it and be that
Mm.
person, and it felt good for me and it made other people feel good.
Mhm.
Because one of the things with most industries is that you'll get people who have brought their insecurities to the job, and so they may lash out, they may be loud, they may be boisterous, but most of the time it's just about their insecurities and them feeling nervous. And so,
Mm.
it's just like those people say, "Oh my God, my day can't happen unless I have a cup of coffee."
Mhm.
Come on now. You
Like,
ain't
really?
born drinking coffee, so you
Yeah.
okay. But we set ourselves up to have these, not necessarily crutches, but just sort of those things that are familiar that we do so that we can feel comfortable with ourselves and in situations. And so that's what I
Mhm.
did. So I always made sure I was true to myself the way I dressed, because that was my uniform. My uniform helped me
Yes.
feel comfortable so that I could be in
Mhm.
any room with
Yeah.
anybody and be
Yeah.
okay. And then the
Mm.
second thing was just me always trying to make people feel, less tense and bring the
Mhm.
anxiety away.
You are
So
really good at that. Super,
so
super.
whatever it is, I walk into a situation, like you said, as an introvert, I'm not going to be the first one to speak. I'm going to assess what's there, look at what I have, who's in the room, what could I talk about? Okay. And then you see this person who may feel that you can see their anxiety, you can see all this, and you can be, like, "Oh, did your daughter pick out that bracelet for you?"
Oh,
Oh, yeah, and this is so there you go. Now, sort of that, that insecurity and that all those anxiety moments that they're having sort of get pushed
yeah.
away. And we can
Wow.
create a level where everybody's okay. You know,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things I've prided myself on. Whatever production set I'm on, everybody's gonna feel the same way, from the
Yeah.
director down to the PA. Everybody's gonna feel respected and feel good, and however I can, do that, I'm gonna make sure I try to do that.
Mhm. And I know that for you, brand is everything. And that, to me, is the brand positioning behind LMG
Mm-hmm.
Productions is the fact that you're so personable. You understand, like, people, I don't know, like, you are just easy to work with. You, and your number one goal is it's got to have a red carpet experience
Got to be.
attached to it. If it doesn't, it wasn't done by Gwen Jackson. So, so I, you know, and that is something that I really, really, you know, enjoy whenever we have projects together, is that you care about, like you said, from the executive producer to the talent to the PA, like it's across the board. Everybody gets receives the same experience when working with you, which is really, really cool. So let's talk about some of the challenges, like in the space of being, you know, the most sought after. You know, it's not easy working in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
You have, like you said, you there are tons and tons of personality types that you work with, and understanding that, you know, if you just meet a person where they are,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it has a lot to do with the anxiety that they may be facing, or, you know, or whatever that is. But what would you say would be, just, I don't know if you want to talk on being a Black woman, or just being a woman at all in a male dominated industry. So what would you say would be the most challenging?
You know, I guess for me, I never really had trouble with the black female thing or the male dominated thing because I wouldn't allow it to affect me. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I always said, you know, come at me, come let if we can't find a common ground, then we don't need to work together. It's as simple
Okay.
as that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to allow you to put me in a box where I feel uncomfortable and then I can't do my job. And so I never allowed people to box me in that way. I came out
Mhm.
with, you know, whatever it is, I know we got some commonality that we can find.
Right,
Whether
right,
we
right.
all like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or whatever it is, there's
We
something common.
will find it. Yeah,
We're gonna figure it out one way or
yeah.
the other. And so and I don't say
Hmm.
that to be, you know, verbose or to act like, you know, yeah, I had it together all the time. No. And people will tell you too, they're like, well, I don't even know who she is. Who's Gwen Jackson? I know who
Mm.
I am. And there's tons of jobs
There.
that I could have, you know, clawed and scratched and, you know, and hurt people and did all kinds of crazy things. And but the first thing
Hmm.
was my family. And I tell people that
Hmm.
I'm one of those entrepreneurs that, you know, I don't have that, you know, killer mentality hustle. I'm going to do what I can do, and I'm very blessed that I have a partner who can help me, you know, bridge that gap. If I
Yeah,
say, "Babe, you know, I really want this project," he's like, "Make it happen." But
yeah,
my family
yeah.
comes first, and then those other things. So no, I'm not a household name. I've worked with a lot of household names, but I enjoy just being able to go into a situation and find that common ground. That,
Hmm.
you know, and and being able to not let it be just about because you know here in Georgia it is very much divided because you know black and white.
Yeah.
We when I first started in the business, you know it was you know a balance, but people loved doing what they were doing.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we hurt the system because we started letting people who weren't as talented or who wasn't as trained do the
Hmm.
job. So that's why the business went away. Then we bring in someone like
Gotcha.
Tyler
Okay.
Perry. Tyler Perry got people to come back and say, take another look at Georgia because I'm making some things happen there. And so the business started coming back. But it's
Hmm.
now in a place where we need to keep that integrity and stay away from making things about black and white or female to male because there's some really fantastic talented people you know who are creative and who know how to come and do the job get the job done and those are the kind of people
Yeah.
I want to be around you know.
That is so true, and I'm glad that you here's what I gathered from everything that you just said is that, you know, success is, um, it's what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
It is it. How do you define, you know, success?
Yes.
And it is not what someone else thinks about you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you're a household name, but it is you've created a brand for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and any and everything that has the LMG production stamp on it, it is done in with a high level of excellence.
Yep.
And so that is what has carried you over the years. And that is why people, that's why I call upon you whenever I need something. I mean, and it's true because you are a true professional. So
Yeah.
success is oftentimes not just about the monetary gain,
Mm-hmm.
nor is it about the accolades or, you know, the status.
Mm-hmm.
Although you are in Atlanta, and we know Atlanta is Black Hollywood, like we just know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it is really, really cool to hear you talk about what success is for you. And that it's never about the money. It's never about any of that. It's always about, you know, you making, as long as your name is attached to it and it's executed well, that's all that matters. And
Yeah.
with a high level of integrity, like that is really key.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I work with, because like right now, I'm over 50, so I could easily say, well, now it's ageism,
Yeah,
like if you're not hip and cool and this and that and the other. But I tell these young folks all day, I know who I am. Do you know who
right.
you are?
Do you know?
And
Well, no, they do not.
and most of the
A
time
lot
they
of
do
most of
not.
the time they don't know.
So
Yeah.
so, and I'm like, I could do what you're doing with my eyes closed because I've done it so many times. But integrity and all those kind of things, it doesn't matter how old you are, what color you are, whatever. If you don't have them,
That's
you're
it.
not gonna succeed. You're not gonna do well. And that's how I run my life.
Hmm.
I want to make sure after it's over, I can see what we could have done differently. I can be responsible for anything that I didn't do that I said I was gonna do, or I know that there was integrity. There
Hmm.
was a cause for action for all of the things that we did, and we did our best, and that's
Hmm.
that's that's
Hmm.
what that's what keeps me going. Yeah.
That was going to be exactly actually the thing that I was going to ask you. What keeps you going? Well, you've already told us. That's
Yeah.
what keeps you going. It's not really about the fame, the accolades, or the money. It's just, yeah, the
Is
why
that some?
behind the what is though, because okay, so like, we can't talk on what is the why behind what you do. Like you touch so many lives, and you add a lot of value in every situation, with every person that you meet. So what's the why though behind what you do?
The why is the end result. If I can be on a shoot and I can, create something and people feel good at the end of the day, then
Hmm.
I feel good. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Like for instance, the show we just finished is for a young lady here. You know her. Uh,
Yeah,
when I
we
met
can
her,
give her a shout out. We can give her a shout out.
yeah, Michelle.
Yes,
And
yes.
so Michelle, when I went to Michelle, I was like, I really want to help your show grow. And
Hmm.
so I want to help your show grow. And then as being a line producer and doing budgets for the past 20 years, I was like, we got to monetize your show. And
Hmm.
so I came in and restructured it and brought some segments to her show that
Wow.
that added some life to the show, but also gave her a way for her to be able to monetize the show. So it wouldn't be
Very
something
good.
that's just coming out of her pocket. And
Yeah.
so that structure, everybody was so excited because, okay, guys, we're only working 2 weeks. We're doing one episode a day. This is where we're going to do it. You don't have to break down and put the set back up. Everybody knows where they have to come and what time they have to be there. And so you get this sort of, bubble that everybody's
Yes.
in for these 2 weeks, and they feel good because now they get to not worry about, oh, I got to take this down. I got to worry about this. No, just come do your job.
And everything is already in place. And that's efficiency.
Everything.
That's the
Everything's
thing that
already in
you add. You add efficiency to
place.
every process
Yeah.
that you're involved in. And that is something that is a talent and a gift, because a lot of people just don't have the ability to do that. And to be able to recognize the blind spots within a production. Like,
Yeah.
you have this very keen eye in terms of operations and being able to, like, very thoroughly make sure that the production timeline. I learned so much when I'm working with you, like, seriously. And it's really, really, really cool. A cool experience. So, all right, well, you can tell us what you're working on next, or if you can't and are not at liberty, that is okay. But right, the next question is, what's next for Gwen Jackson?
Yeah, with all these different I tell I'm always laughing at myself because I'm like, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'll be starting jobs, I'll be having whims about stuff, and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to do that. Ooh, I
Yeah,
want to do that."
yeah.
And so, one of the extensions of what I've been doing is I met a young lady about 4 or 5 years ago, and she was bringing a cognac into the country.
Ooh,
And so she wanted us to do a marketing campaign to
right.
help them, launch and talk about it or whatever and their theme and everything. And so we started working on it, doing our research. And she said she was going to go to France to meet the master blender. Went with her to France, met the master blender, fell in love and decided, okay, I got to be a part of this because I'm looking at the numbers, the amount of money that black folks spend on liquor and
Yeah.
spirits, and we aren't the ones representing this stuff. And so this was before the Uncle Nearest and all that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
so I said, I want to be a part of this. And I started a distribution company because that was one of the things I told her. I said, if we control the distribution and how people buy this,
Hmm.
blow all these other companies out of the water. And
Right.
we just had so much fun getting going and whatever. And then she was like, well, I really want to go with a bigger company because she was listening to somebody else, and she went with a larger company. And I had to decide, do I want to do it still? And then the pandemic hit, and I said, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of, but I know that there are companies out there that want to
Hmm.
bring good brands to the US. And so
Yeah.
I decided to try it again, so that's what I'm gonna be doing,
Well,
liquid.
all right. Look, and that's the thing. Innovative. You're very innovative. You're
Yeah,
always thinking, you know, um, in a way, and brand everything like that is so, which is something that I admire about you. And
yeah.
it's something to be said for, like, we know multiple streams of income. Like, we've heard it over and over and over. It's been hit into our brain. Like, you need to,
You need to
you
diversify and
know.
find things that you can do, but what I have to tell us, meaning our brothers and sisters,
Hmm.
I love y'all to death, but Imma need for y'all to get training in these areas
Oh,
that
here's the
can
mic
go
drop, because that was the next thing. What's the mic drop advice? And so she's dropping nuggets. Yeah.
we've gotta get better training in the
Mm,
areas that we seek. We cannot assume that we can go into stuff and look at the surface of something and decide what it is, because
mm,
there's so many things underneath that you don't get to see. And so we have to, take the time. If you want to be in real estate, take real estate classes. You want to be an actor, go take acting classes. I I'm gonna tell you an example. I met this young man one time at a networking event, and I'm always trying to give people the opportunity. And he's came to me, get his card, and he says, I'm a certified public accountant, CPA. And that's some big letters.
that's
That's
big.
big, right? So I'm
Certified at that. It's like, wow.
hello, I'm a
Yeah.
CPA.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh man, this is great, because I'm always for my businesses, I want to work with a CPA, want to
Right.
find out more. And I called him up, and do you know what he said to me? Oh, yeah, Miss Lady, I don't really do, like that. I just do people taxes and stuff. What? What now? You
No, what now?
so
You
you
said
came to a car talking about you a certified public accountant and you don't even know how to count?
you can't even put that on your don't tell nobody else that.
I said
Have
throw
you even taken
I
the
said
exam?
throw those cards away.
Oh,
And do not tell anybody
don't
else
tell
that
anybody
you do
that.
that. Don't do that. Stop it. You know,
Stop.
because everybody now is like, oh, I want an LLC. Get you an LLC. Get you a this. Please stop and understand what that means. There's a lot of responsibilities. And then as soon as things go sideways, oh, they just doing it because we black. Okay. Were
Yeah.
you organized? Were you ready? Because I know a lot of black folks who had legitimate companies who kept their companies afloat because they had real CPAs doing their work. So when the EILD, what is it, EIDLs and the PPPs came out, they legitimately saved their businesses because they had the foundation. The folks who got in trouble were the ones who was just trying to get a handout.
Just trying to get that money.
Don't get me wrong. Everybody got their own thing, but I'm just saying going forward as we continue to be business minded and we continue to build for the future, have the experience, have the knowledge, have the know-how to do the thing that you're saying you're doing.
Yeah. And that's so true. I mean, and then, you know, be focused with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that I meet so many people. They have, I'm this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Nothing wrong. I understand the serial entrepreneur. I get it.
Hmm.
But at least be in the same vein and in the same industry or something close to it. Like you can't be a phlebotomist and then I want to be a trash guard, or I
Yeah.
don't know. So like let's be in this have it make sense. It should be something that can leverage your businesses can leverage one another. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like really and truly, like my podcast, like I own, I'm an entrepreneur and I own an executive virtual assistant business.
Hmm.
But the heavy on the entrepreneur, right? So I launched a podcast where I can talk to entrepreneurs. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
I meet so many people who they got a lot of things going on,
And they don't have
and
no training in nothing.
no training, but these are all, but it's their passions, and I appreciate them being passionate about it. But if there's no structure, a real business structure,
Mhm.
then you're not a real business.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I tell people I have started businesses, but I've also sold businesses. I've
yeah,
closed businesses that
see,
I had on my own terms.
see,
Sold them for money
see,
or closed them because I don't want to do it anymore, but it's been on my terms.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but that was because God's given me a lot of information, but I go out and like I said, every situation I'm trying to learn. And if there's something else that I want to be in, I'm going to do it. Like with the liquor stuff, I have a mentor who's been in the business 15 years in New York. That's
mm-hmm.
one of them. And
Yeah,
then I have another one who's been in the business for 20 years.
yeah,
She's in Nashville.
yeah,
So
okay,
I call them up and say, hey, how do I do this, this, and this? I'm using their brain,
yeah,
to help me because I don't know everything about it. I know marketing, I know
mm-hmm.
communication, but I don't know the ins and outs of this business. And that's why I went to some mentors who were willing to work with me to teach it. And it's a win-win because my mentor in Nashville, I can bring her products into here. She can get my products into Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working together.
But yeah, but do you see how your liquor branding and things of that nature can still be leveraged by the industry that you're in? Because when
Mhm.
you're having all these parties and stuff like that, like you can bring in that, and then that's going to be a lucrative situation for you. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like it just still all works together. So you
Yeah.
know.
And
So
it gives me the opportunity to say, okay, I'm not going to do production as much as I, used to, because, I have someone that just offered me a position to work on something for 9 months. And I was like, no, I can't do it that long because I'm doing this over here.
mhm,
And I do have a project that is green lit with Hallmark. And so there's other things there, but I can slowly move those out of the way to get to what I really want to do, which is the
mhm,
liquid side. And I have some products coming in that are going to be really big because I'm gonna
mhm.
make them big.
I
You
know
know.
that's right. I know that's right. And holla at your girl when you need me, girl.
Right, right.
You know
Exactly.
me. We work together really, really well.
Yeah.
So when you're ready, just definitely you know how to find me. So I would love to be. I would love to work with you on your projects. So I just really this conversation has been really, really amazing. Um, you know, you're such a kind soul,
Thank
um,
you.
such a perfectionist, such a professional. And so I just want to just tell you thank you for saying yes to coming on my show. I appreciate you. I really, really do.
It was not even a second thought.
But it's a it's a new show, so I sometimes I'm like but it's okay because as I keep going, it's gonna grow and grow and grow and grow and
Yeah,
grow.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
and I like having good conversations. I like sharing information. I think we don't do enough of that,
yeah,
with
yeah.
each other. There's lots of information that we all could be sharing with each other.
Hmm.
We have to continue to do that because other communities do that. That's how
Hmm.
they stay around for hundreds and thousands of years. We're still newbies because we came here, under other circumstances, but
Right,
it
right.
doesn't mean that we can't work together to build something for ourselves,
Hmm. Hmm.
and to stay connected, And,
Right.
and and
Yeah.
lastly, just real quick, I had a conversation. I'm gonna keep saying this to people as I meet them. I
Okay.
was at an event the other night, a nonprofit event,
Hmm.
and there was a gentleman there from Nigeria. And well, actually the whole table actually was from Nigeria and France. And
Okay.
we were just talking about the differences in the way they view us as Africans and the way we view ourselves. And I said, because they were talking about crime. Oh, I'm in this one place, there's crime there. I said, but there's crime everywhere. I said, one of the things that I see is that people aren't grounded. They don't know who they are. And I said, you guys should be giving us the benefit of the doubt. We
Mhm.
came here and we were stripped of our name, our families, our language, everything was stripped away. And we've had to build all that back up based on what other folks say we are.
Mhm.
So we should be connected to each other. You should be sharing what you know about where we came from so that we can then be stronger. So that would
Mm.
be that's my next my mantra for next year
Wow.
is not shrinking for anybody, being authentically me. Glasses, wild hair,
All
white,
the things.
know,
I know that's
bald
right.
head, the whole thing. I'm authentically me, not shrinking. But I want us all to not shrink and help each other,
Yeah.
not shrink. And
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
don't shrink each other because
Yeah.
what you're doing. And that's why I said it was no. I would never have thought about. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Not because
Thank
you're
you.
not some famous person. You April, you
I
my
am.
so I don't care about that part of it. But
Right.
you,
Right.
if this makes you shine, I want to be able to be like, I helped her shine.
Oh, thank you so much. And the same, and it's like
Yeah.
if we had more people in the world with that sort of mindset. I mean, there's some really good, amazing people in the world, and
Yes.
I'm just really fortunate to have had the pleasure of actually meeting and have it's been a good ride. Been a good ride. I can tell that, but I also feel as though that's because what you put out there is what you receive.
You're gonna get it
So
back.
you get what I'm saying? So when people call up on me, I do my best to actually treat people how I would love to be treated. I
Yeah.
don't always get it right because I could be a little feisty, but but
But
for the
it's
most
like, you
part,
remember what I told you in that? I said just have patience.
yes, you
Just
did.
have patience and figure and know that the thing that you think is bad from them is the thing that they're trying to work through.
And you are really, really good at that. You should host some classes or something. I don't know, classes or something. But Gwen, it has been so cool talking to you. I just want to say
Yes.
thank you again. We're gonna wrap
Okay.
up. And so where can people? I've been putting where like your social media across
Mhm.
the screen. But if you, I don't know if you have some other information you want to give out so that people can reach you.
Yeah, the social media is always fun. Follow me, and like I said, I'm trying to wrap up the production side, and I'll be doing more in the liquid distributors.
Mhm.
And just having a good time because we only get one ride on this thing.
Right, exactly. So, people, if you guys are interested in learning more about Gwen, you can hit her up on IG at LMG Pro ATL. That's
That's right.
at LMG Pro ATL. And
And my
then
website, I don't know if I gave it to you, but it's just lmgproductionsatl.com.
very good, very, very good. And so because you never know, you may have some distributors out there that might want to, some liquor brands that may would hit her up, y'all. Like she's super cool to work with. So, but Gwen, thank you so much. And I am the host and creator of Respectfully April. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a cool conversation, as always. And so, Gwen, thank you so much. You stay put. I'm signing off. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Also, please share my content. As a content creator, a new content creator in this space, I have to get better at asking people to share, like, do all of the things. So do everything that, invite people to come watch. But if you can share it respectfully, April, it would be much appreciated. So we are signing off. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.